Hello everyone, welcome to today's live session. So today we'll be um, in today's live session we'll be discussing the major part of that is a forecast across multiple pairs and some trade I took today. Like we have the instance on GPUSD sell and AUD GPY buy movement. So these are the pairs I'll be discussing in today's live session. So and I'll also give a forecast on BTC, Gold, GPUSD, and AeroUSD. So we'll be giving a forecast across all these major pairs. So let's get right into it. So here we have AUD GPY buy program, and the reason why I took this buy is just a scalping movement. All right, a scalping setup. This is a scalping trade. All right, on a normal regular day, I don't take this type of trade, but it's a scalping setup, and the reason why I took it is from 1 hour time frame setup. All right. So though on daily time frame we have daily charity. So this is the first thing that made me to take the buy. So the first thing we have a daily charity setup right here. A sell candle, a buy candle within a support level. All right. So this is the major target, which is the external liquidity, and market has already taken it out, which is this. So the next area market we get to is this resistance level, right, which will be the main target, or that was my main target. So after market gave this buy program, this buy reversal or charity, the next is the expansion phase of the move. So market opened this very day, and if you use a 50% of what we discussed in the last live session we did, you notice that market is above 50% of this candle range. All right, this previous day candle range, which was yesterday, market is above 50% of it. So this shows that what there's what more buyers on this pair, that is AUD JPY, for a bullish program. So what do I do next? The next thing I do is I will scale into 4 hour time frame or 1 hour time frame. On 1 hour time frame right here, the next thing I look at for is this. This was yesterday. Yesterday here. Then during the night we have stronger bullish movement. Then this morning I have this candle right here. So this was why I took this buy movement right here. A short term reversal right here. A short term reversal or a CRT movement right here. So CRT, a sell candle, a buy candle, a buy candle, CRT reversal right here. Then you can scale into 5 minutes or 15 minutes time frame for a continuation. So I have this break of structure right here to the upside, then a break of structure above this high, though it was not engulfed, but there was a proper mitigation right here. Anything that makes market to break below this low, I know that okay, that means I'm looking for a sell program. But since market is within this area and failed toward close below this last support level right here, I expected market to continue the bullish expansion. So this was one of the trade I took today. So just a short scalping setup, which was around one ratio. That's about 20 pips, right? About 20 pips, just this, and which is around one ratio 3. All right, it's a scalping setup. But there's another trade that I saw today, which was perfect on GPP USD. On GPUSD, I took this trade also on another of my account. All right, this was the trade. Now, as market on 1 hour time frame, the first thing we understand here is what do we have right here, or what is market doing on this pair. So what market is currently doing is that we are bearish. Market has broken structure to the downside right here. This is a break of structure. Since we have gotten the break of structure, the next is what? Bearish program. All right. So the next is where you will look for the bearish program. One of the POI we have is what this extreme POI, or is internal structure, but it's an extreme POI. But market did not trade into it. But here, if you look at structure well, you understand what market is doing. We have a higher high here, a higher low, that induced a lot of liquidity right here. Then market broke below it yesterday. So this was yesterday low. So market break below this low. So this is a break of structure for a bullish expansion, right? The next is what? A pullback. Market pullback into this range and gave a complete rejection plus a break of structure right here. And the break of structure also engulfed this previous 1 hour time frame support level. So with this engulfing right here, this shows that market is willing to sell. And when you scale into 5 minutes time frame, you look at mitigation and all, you understand that this was the last mitigated zone, the SC candle right here. So that was one of the major things that made me to look for this sell setup. So, but the only thing is this: after the break of structure, it didn't give entry right here. So what I waited for is around this level. So I waited for this engulfing. Market engulf this low right here. So this engulfing, the next thing is what? I scale into what? A minute time frame. This was how I take this trade. On a minute time frame, right here, we have this short-term high right here, then a lower low, a lower high, plus this, right? So this is an inducement high, a short-term inducement high. So this was the trade I also took today. So here was my SL, which was around this high and around 7 pips. That was the stop loss I used. So this was one of the trade I also took this morning. All right, I also took this trade. But the reason why I didn't risk much on this trade was because of this outside key zone. So if you check this rectangle box I put here, this is a key zone from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. in the morning, London key zone and New York key zone. So that is your key zone, right? I use it sometimes. Sometimes I can decide to remove it, right? But if I'm doing something important and I won't be able to focus on the pair too much, so I always add it so that I'll not make mistake in terms of timing. So this is it, and the main target is this external liquidity right here. This is my main target for this pair. Now on USD, we are seeing what market is doing. We saw early consolidation right here, another early consolidation here, but market failed to break structure around here, right? So this means that structure is still bearish. The same thing right here. We failed to break this high, but here we have a sharp movement to the downside, which is what smart money footprint. So we have this sell candle right here, which is very, very powerful. So after the sell candle, we have a CRT reversal right here, plus a break of structure to the upside. Around that CRT on lower time frame, there was no clear entry except maybe this, but it was already late, so I didn't take this entry. So I'm waiting for a buy program within this level today in New York session, right, which is what has started right now. So I'm looking for a buy setup right here at this area, or mostly at this area, with confirmation within these two PY. So these are the major trade monitoring for the day. This is another trade I'm monitoring for the day, which is for this New York session. Another one monitoring is gold. Since gold has already traded into this level where I marked earlier for this sell program, and if you look at what market is doing currently, structure is still not what yet clear. Okay, if we are to buy or to sell around here. So the first thing is what I was looking for a sell. That was on Monday, based on the outlook I gave across my channels. So I was looking for a sell program right here. So, but the next thing now I'm monitoring is if market will give us what, a deeper pullback, or we'll be having a buy program from here. So if we'll be having a pullback or a buy program, so one of the things market is currently giving us is what, a short-term early consolidation right here. All right. So when market gives this type of early consolidation, the next thing I look at for is what, CRT reversal. So take for example, we have at this candle, which is this bullish candle right here. All right, let me mark the candle, the full candle, so that you understand the candle I'm talking about. This. All right, this candle right here, this bullish candle that has a long wick top and bottom. That's what I call void in a bar. So it's one of the major POI I also use sometimes, right? Which I won't explain right here, but it's another major point of interest I use. So if I scale into like 5 minutes time frame, I'm looking forward a break of structure within that area. So this is a huge POI, but sometimes you can refine it, right? And if you refine it, sometimes you miss the entry. So what I do most of the times, I'll just wait for confirmation within that area. So if you would have refined this area, you would have wait for this as your POI, right? And if market decide to start buying from here, that means you'd have missed the move. So the next thing I look at for is what reversal. We have a short term down movement right here and break of structure to the upside. All right. So since we have this break of structure to the upside, the next is what a break of structure continuation to the upside. So I also look at what daily time frame. What did market do yesterday? So what did market do yesterday? Market created what a sell candle. A sell candle. Since market created a sell candle, I also do the same thing. Is market trading above 50% of that sell candle or below it? So it's trading above 50% of that sell candle, right? It's trading above 50% of it. That is one major thing that can help me to look for a bullish program. So since it's trading already above 50% of it, I can look for a bullish program right here. Plus this CRT reversal around the support level. Then you come to M15, you have this break of structure. So I'm just waiting for engulfing. Then I'll look forward if market will come for inducement of this low before a buy, or it won't induce it. That's a proper mitigation. Then look for a buy program. So that's another trade we'll be monitoring for the day. Um, let's before market give us what we are looking for, we can look at other pair like BTC to see what BTC is doing for the week. On BTC, um, this pair, right after this sell movement, which I gave from the last live session we did. Okay, this was from last live session we did. So I also said that we can look for short sell program right here. Okay, so since market has already given that sell movement, the next thing you outline is this. Let me remove some of this noise. Is that we have a structure continuation right here. Okay, a high, a low. Market used this low as mitigation or as inducement since it didn't mitigate this low enough. So this become now a new high, a higher low. So this become our current structure range on BTC. So if we are to sell, we expected market to drop down and give us a break of structure before we start looking for sell. This is based on structure alone. Now we also look at the candle that market is forming on daily time frame. It's forming kind of like a CRT reversal above this, which can give us an idea that we can have what a bullish program this pair. So when we scale in now to this 1 hour time frame, we have market buying from this internal structure right here. We only have one internal structure, and that's where market is reacting off from. So since that is where market is reacting off from, we can highlight this area. We'll have this early consolidation. This is for this sell movement that market has already offered now. So making this area a good area where market can give us what short-term buy program. So this is purely on structure without any model like any of this other model I do trade. So this is just structural inducement and continuation. All right. So we have a break of structure right here. A break of structure here. Okay. We have this break of structure to the upside right here. And the first thing you always note is what manipulation, right? We have a sharp movement to the downside right here, which is kind of like a manipulation move to absorb liquidity just right below this low. Okay, since market has already manipulated below this low, the next thing we expect of price is expansion and momentum to go from the sell side to the buy side, and we can see it right here. Momentum started what coming back to the buy side, and right here we have what some huge buy candle right here. So this shows that what momentum now is shifting from the sell side to the buy side of the move. So if market is shifting to the buy side, that means we will look for what entry, possible entry around this level. So here we scale into lower time frame to do some refinement. So on this lower time frame, do I have any proper mitigation currently? Answer is probably no. So I will still have this area as my POI. Since there's no proper mitigation within this area, right? But this does not mean market cannot use any of this POI. But this means that if I'm to highlight point of interest around this area, I can have up to 2 to 3 point of interest. And when I have that type of point of interest, I always pick the last POI, which is the primary POI. So if I'm to pick another POI, I can have this area as another of my POI. But I won't use that area. So this will be my main point of interest for possible buy continuation to the upside. So this is one of the trade we'll be monitoring for the day. All right. So if market continue with this bullish expansion, then we buy to make a higher high above these two high. And another thing is what based on the current tariff from USD, that is strengthening USD. The tariff from US to Japan and South Korea, all right, that will what likely what strengthen USD for this week, all right. So those are the major things you should what be aware of as a trader, except you are yet to mature as a trader. So this is the POI. I'll be waiting for price for a buy program. Okay, when okay, let's okay, we have a question here. When does one expect price to come for primary inducement and secondary inducement simultaneously? Okay, so that is a good question. So we dive into that. So when one expects primary inducement, and just like I said before, what defines if market will give a deep pullback are two major things. One is engulfing, all right? How price engulf a high or a low, right? Is very, very important. So let's say, for example, uh, let's use 4 hour time frame. Let's take for example good. Let's use good as an example. And while we wait for that buy program, if it offers that to us. So what offers or what gives us idea if we are going to buy or sell? One is engulfing. So take for example here, as market break this high, you notice it rejected this high instantly after breaking it. Okay, it rejected this high immediately after breaking this high. This shows that market is interested in giving a deep pullback, right? Is interested in giving this deep pullback. So whenever market offer this, I am most of the times always expecting market to come back for primary POY. Okay, when market give a sharp rejection like this, most of the times I'm always expecting market to come from primary POY. Another thing you expect is if market engulf this high and possibly there is internal structure mitigation here, all right? If there's internal structure mitigation, you will expect market to what? Give you something like this, a higher high, higher low, then a structure continuation to the upside. But if there's no proper mitigation, the next thing, if market engulf this high, is just for market to sweep this high, to sweep this low, like this low, then I'll start looking for buy. So if market engulf this high, then because there was no proper mitigation, then give this type of deep pullback, then I would have been looking for buy within this low or within this area for a buy continuation. All right, that's what I would do. So This does not mean there. If let's say all those people that trade, support and resistance, okay, they don't really care much about SL. All right, the most thing they care about is directional bias. So once they are okay with the directional bias, which is a bullish directional bias, so what one of the major things they will do is this. Some of them they can have primary POI, which is this, and have a secondary POI, which is where price is buying from currently. So they can have this. Let's say, for example, we have one you they have terrain balance right here. Okay? So they will pick this middle one like this. Then they will enter from this particular area. This will be their stop loss. This will be their entry, and around here will probably be their stop loss. Boom. Around that, let's say 1:4 or 1:5, that will be their target. Boom. And especially if they are willing to risk or to take risks, so they'll just put in the money they know that they can lose. They can take this type of trade for internal structure. Then why this will be the primary POI. But I don't trade like that. So what I do most of the times is, since there's no engulfing above this high, entering from this area become a risky trade for me. It become a risky trade. So I always wait for confirmation, just like this now. Engulfing market did not engulf this high on this H4 time frame. And from daily time frame, if you look at it from daily time frame, market touch daily support level. Okay, so on 4 hour time frame, we need a break of structure, which market has given us. Okay, which is this. But did market engulf the resistance level of it? Answer is no. So that means market is trapped within a zone. So it can decide to buy, it can decide to sell. So what I do most of the times when market give me this, I always wait for confirmation. I always wait for confirmation. If they were engulfing above this high, then I would have enter, set a limit order around this level for a buy program. But since there's no engulfing, market can decide to sell or buy. So that is that. We'll come back to that trade to see if we have gotten the setup. Okay, perfect. Now we just need engulfing above this high, then this low will be mitigated. We just need engulfing above this high, then we enter and set stop loss right below this low. If market give us that, but if no, if market did not give us that, then I'm not going to risk this trade. So I'll just wait for a clear bias for proper buy continuation. So that is that. And that is the trade I'm waiting for on good. So let's look at other pairs if we have any clear setup. Okay, no clear setup on this. Market did not give any pullback. I was waiting for a pullback for a sell continuation on this pair, but it just continued dropping, and I don't kind of like jumping into a trade. So let's look at the USD. Okay, let's look at that. So this is another I was monitoring this morning for a buy program around London key zone, and here we are in New York key zone. So market has broken this high, all right, which is kind of like an engulfing. And here, let's see if we have a proper mitigation here. Okay, there's no proper mitigation right here. There's no proper mitigation, so this area is out. But we can still wait for price around here if market give us entry in this New York session for us to look for a buy continuation to the upside, just like this trade I took this morning, which was AUD JPY for this buy program. All right, this is a trade I took this morning, and it's currently at 1:4 now. So it's that simple. Sometimes, if market did not give you the type of setup you are looking for, you just kind of like look for those kind of like scalping setups, which happen not often, but sometimes you could just, when you have opportunity to see one of it, then you can take advantage of that type of trade. So that's one trade I took this morning, and I believe that is all for today's live session. Nothing much, but if market provide opportunity across this other place, Since I promised that the session will be 30 minutes, I will give my update on it. So let's just wait for another 2 minutes, or let's say 5 minutes. If market give us opportunity for buy on good, then we take the trade. If not, then we wait for a better opportunity to enter a buy program. Okay, I believe we call it a day since God refused to buy, because if we have this engulfing right here, we would have taken our entry right here. So if God refused to buy, then there's no reason why we should be risking our money. All right. So we wait for market around this level for a confirmation. That is a break of structure, something of this nature. Then we look for a buy program to the upside. So this is one trade I'm waiting for price. I'm waiting for. All right. So another trade I'm waiting for is GPUSD buy program, but I'm waiting for market to give this retracement. So I was expecting as GPUSD is selling that LUSD will also be selling into this POI. but looks like ARSD is not that interested in dropping too deep. But here we have some cluster liquidity or a lot of liquidity right here, which you can see. So we have this low, these two lows right here, this low, and up to three lows around here. So this shows that there's multiple liquidity right here that can attract price. So after this, if we can see some down push into this level, then we can look for a buy program. So this is one of the trade we'll be monitoring. If market did not offer entry today, possibly I'll be waiting for market to offer an entry tomorrow. So good luck and good trading. See you all on next live session.